as Mark rightly said, you don't care about me, do you? In fact, I get that criticism all the time. I talk to people like that, or people talk to me like that. You don't care about me, do you? Basically, what it is, it's a conflict, it's an argument. And today's speech, what I'm going to deliver is basically how to diffuse the criticism. We get arguments all the time. Arguments are inevitable. We interact and we communicate in our personal life, in our professional life, with our colleagues, with our family members, and there are arguments which are inevitable, but which results into conflict. What is important is that we need to turn around the conflict into a healthy discussion. And I'm going to tell you how we can do that. And basically, I'll go through a process of how we can diffuse criticism. But the secret of the whole process is don't act defensively. Basically, don't act defensively. What happens is when we get the criticism, we immediately, suddenly start acting defensively. So, and why do we do that in fact? And what causes us to act defensively? See, those angry statements or accusations like you don't care about me, or why have you done this, or why have you not done this, they are the beginning of any argument and beginning of any communication with accusations or criticism makes us or any person defensive, and that escalates into conflict. And why the criticism conflict? This results, any argument result into conflict is basically it conflicts with our self-image, with our image. An image, we have two images. One is the self-image, another is a public image. When I say self-image is what do I perceive myself to be? I perceive myself to be honest, I perceive myself to be upfront, I perceive myself to be truthful, sincere, and all that. If someone tells me, no, you're not, so basically it is conflicting with my self-image. Likewise, we have a public image. Public, you, audience, the people think me like a particular person, but if someone starts accusing me, and then it's basically conflicting with my public image. So that results into any argument, if conflict with our image, it results into, we tend to become defensive. And you see, when a person becomes defensive, there are different ways different people respond. They respond differently. One of the ways is withdraw. If someone accuses you, keep quiet. You accept it, move away. Basically, you have accepted the criticism. And why some people do that is basically you tend to avoid confrontation. But what happens is you have gained something that, okay, you have avoided a confrontation, but at the same time, the downside is it has affected your self-esteem. It has lowered your confidence. And if it keeps happening, your self-image goes wrong. The other way what people respond, how people respond is rationalizing. They admit the merit of the criticism, then quickly follow with an explanation. They start giving an explanation why I behaved like that, and then why did I say those words and all that. But the downside is that you see that when you start defending yourself, the other person is also getting some time in the process, and he is also getting some counter arguments against you, and that results into a conflict. So we should also avoid that situation of where we start giving some argument and the other person is gaining some time and start giving some argument. And the third thing, the third way how people react is counter-attacking. Again, it's like the previous one, where someone starts acting defensively and straight away start jumping and counter-attacking the other person, turning the table around on the other person straight away. And the last method is responding non-defensively. We heard about the defensive way, but and that's the best way how a person should react to any argument, to any criticism, react in a non-defensive way. And that's the best way. And you see that I'm going to tell you how do we do that to avoid any confusion. I mean, in short, it's listening, being non-judgmental, being calm, identify the problem, work with the speaker to resolve the problem. But again, there are few steps. It's a process where one can follow the steps. If we remember those steps, and then one can avoid the conflict and one can act non-defensively. And basically the steps involve the simple steps. There's no secret. The only secret is, as I said, avoid being defensive. But the steps are listen with the open mind. Listening is one skill which we develop through this Toastmaster. We need to listen when someone talks or criticizes or condemns us. And then acknowledge the criticism. Acknowledge the feeling the other person has developed against you. If he felt hurt, acknowledge it. I understand you felt hurt. Then ask question, explore what is the real reason to get to the crux of the problem. And once we do that, and then see if someone has explained to you the reason, what we need to do is to make sure that we got him right, we need to paraphrase what the other person has said. And paraphrase, you all know what does that mean. Is repeating the same thing in your own words, just to make sure, yes, you got the other person right, and confirm the other person. Is that what you said? And the other person will say, yes, that's exactly what I mean. So basically, if we do that, and we can avoid any conflict. And the last thing is agree with the person if there is a truth in the statement. Don't keep denying. That denial doesn't help. Sometimes there are flaws in us, and straight away jumping and giving the counter argument doesn't help. In the whole process, listening, asking questions, and if you come to know, yes, you did a mistake, agree. So that is how we can avoid any conflict. And to conclude, I am going to give you again, there are some simple tips and tricks of the whole process with what I just now mentioned to you. Remain calm, listen, don't take it personally. Separate the person from the issue. Forget about you and me. Forget about he or she. Just try to focus on the issue someone has talked about it, and use non-verbal listening skills. Not with the person. So the other person knows that yes, he's being heard. You are listening him and he's being heard. Acknowledge that. And in a way, don't do it in a sarcastic way. Oh, is it? Am I? Do it in a way which shows your genuineness and sincerity. And show respect for the opponent. If we follow this, I'm sure we can avoid any conflict. So basically, that's what I wanted to say, that it's not difficult. Only problem is that it's like impromptu. As soon as someone tells us or blames us or criticizes, we start defensively acting it. No, I didn't do that. No, listen, be calm, understand. And we can give an argument or accept if there is a respect the person. That's going to definitely resolve it without a conflict. Thank you.
There we go, it tricked me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I should have been way out of the jet. I thought there was to be a role play.
Yeah, no, you see, that's what I was going to say now. No, you see, that whatever I said, I just want to demonstrate whether I can do that or not, whether we can do that or not. I mean, it's easier said than done, but what is important is that, so there's a whole the speech, it involves the next segment, as I said, as Mark said it earlier, that it will involve a role play of 3 to 5 minutes, where I have just happened to talk to Leonie, and she has agreed to be my partner for the role play. We'll just pick up, we haven't rehearsed anything, we haven't done any practice, she didn't know anything about it. So she is going to attack me or criticize me, or and I am going to, yeah, not attack with a hammer. And I am going to give arguments and see whether I can diffuse the conflict or whether I am acting defensively. And at the end of the 2 to 3 minutes or 3 to 5 minutes, whatever it is, you people are the best just to judge whether I have acted it appropriately or not. So I guess the scenario we were talking about it is, we only talked about the scenario, and the scenario is that we could pick any scenario in a personal life or a professional life, but the best thing is to limit it to the professional life. She is my boss. I have been working under him for 1 year, is the performance review time, and now she is going to give me the feedback about my performance. It will be obviously a negative feedback about my performance, and I am going to react about it.
Okay. Now, Rajesh, being your immediate superior, I just want to let you know that in the PDP program, there are 5 criteria to be followed. But I noticed that on the 3rd, you were only less the minimum requirements. Why is this so? Because this is the 2nd time. Remember, we only have 2 cycles within a year, and this is now the 2nd one, so that means it will be the last. Now, how would I really give me your reason? Why? Because somehow you are not meeting the requirements of the job. So could you please let me know?
Oh, Leonie, I'm surprised. Firstly, let me thank you that you're giving me that feedback. But I'm really surprised that my performance on the criteria number 3, what you mentioned, was not satisfactory according to you. But which one is that criteria?
Well, actually, as you all know, we always manage the program, right?
Yeah.
Now, you know already that I email everyone from the section that the PDP is coming up. So I needed you, all my subordinates, to please follow the Gantt charts of our milestones. And I called your attention once, but I thought there would be an improvement on one of the aspects of your project. And I need that really. How could you improve the performance? Being on time. The date is the due date. So I mean, you really have to make the date, the schedule on time to be completed. That's the one that I'm really after for, the time element.
Yeah.
That's why we have time management.
No, you see that I'm so sorry that I let you down. I never meant to do that. My performance in the past has been consistently above. It has been not only meeting the criteria, it has been exceeding the criteria, all of the criteria, but then this is one of the criteria, and this is the first time I'm hearing from you. But you may be right. What I will do is that if I could get some more details about it, the specifics of it, where I have failed, I will be able to improve it, and I can assure you that once I know the details, and like in the past, you're going to
let's
get
have
the
the
best.
resolution. Now, last week will be the last time, isn't it? But then again, I'm giving you more time. Next week. Okay, so next week will be the real final time. Now, prove to me that you are worth to have an excellent performance. So I'm giving you extra 1 week time to prove to me to finish that particular project within the time constraint. Can you do that?
Definitely, Leonie. You see that if the timeline is by next Friday, it has to be done. I can assure you 100%.
Well, I'm happy
I can assure you 100% it will be done. I'll try to rather do it before Friday
Yes,
and
and
give it to
then
you.
from time to time, go to me and we
Yeah.
can talk about it.
Yeah,
Whatever. Okay?
you're very right. We can talk about
okay.
it.
So I think that will be all right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now it's entirely up to you to give us a feedback whether Leonie and me, obviously it was my performance, not Leonie's performance. As far as the speech is concerned, whether I have acted defensively or I have tried to diffuse the conflict and work. So if there's any, or how could I have done better? Let me ask you that way.
We can't because the light's been on for a while.
Oh, even the third segment, the
Yeah.
feedback?
Yeah.
Oh,
So thank you very
When
much,
did you do it?
everyone.
sorry, I didn't see that anyway. Thank you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you
Just
very
missed
much.
that. Thank you.